There's many events in life that provide us bacteria that's going to be beneficial and actually critical to incorporate, and they will be bringing us so much information that our cells need, and especially our immune cells, to function properly. These events, when you bypass them, create major disruptions in how your body will work. And they're actually predictors of future diseases and disbalance in your body. To name the first one that I believe is the most crucial one is the birth canal. Imagine that you are coming into this world a little bit clueless. You have some information, you have some bacteria actually that live in the placenta, so it's not really a sterile environment that the way that was stated before. But these bacteria that are the first colonizers that you're going to have when you're developing in your mother's womb, then they're going to bring and create the right receptive conditions for the bacteria of the birth canal to arrive and inoculate your body. When you bypass this by C-section, I'm not saying C-section are fundamentally wrong, it's just they're, in my opinion, overused or over-indicated because it becomes trending and it's simpler to plan, but not necessarily is the right way to do things. When we bypass this, then you change the initial profile of the microbiome, the initial composition of your microbiome. And whatever you didn't get in that point is not going to be able to come back or get there later. Your whole digestive system is not an open land that is going to stay with clean spots or available spots for the future. They're not being saved for you to be colonized later. If you don't get the right bacteria in the right time, you don't get those bacteria in that precise moment, other bacteria are going to come and colonize and use that place. And from there, then when you try to reintroduce this species later, if you want to, and it's actually impossible because they're very unique to your mother's birth canal or vaginal tract, and that's not something that you're going to get somewhere else. But even if you try, they're not going to have an available space anymore. And even the conditions, the terrain conditions in the gut will be fundamentally modified by this new, different type of bacteria that you got from the skin, from the air in the air exposure from the hospital, maybe from the nurse that was carrying you when to the incubator or to the prep room. Whatever you get, these bacteria are not going to be the same ones that you have to obtain when you're passing through the birth canal. So that main event, just by itself, can majorly disrupt and predict future illnesses. If you sum that to breastfeeding, which also is going to provide not only immunoglobulins and another molecules that are very important for the immune system, but also the bacteria around the skin in the breast that is going to be swollen by the breastfeeding feeding process. If you don't get that and you instead get formula, that's something that you're going to be missing in your profile later. And so on from the years 0 to 3, we've seen these major points that they got disrupted frequently. And if you add antibiotic use or other pharmaceutical drugs that they have never been tested safe for the microbiome, because this is just quite new knowledge. So they're also only were tested to be safe or to a certain extent to the human cells, but not to the microbiome. Then we have by the age of 3, a very disrupted and very disbalanced profile of bacteria. And this over time, you can see how it will modulate what we know as chronic, low-grade chronic inflammatory conditions. That could be autoimmune, could be inflammatory disease in the gut, and many others, allergies, etc. So when we keep this in mind, we can make better decisions. At the end, it's our choice to decide what we're going to give to our babies, to our kids, and what we can do to prevent this disruptions to occur. So when we keep this in mind, how important these events are, maybe, of course, it's not going to be the most comfortable to go through a birth to a natural delivery instead of going to a planned, very organized C-section. But what damage we're creating, what collateral damage we're creating, is what we really need to think when we make the decision. I invite you, there's a lot of literature out there about this, and there's a lot of books that I will recommend. There's one beautiful one that is in a very simple terms explains one of the biggest roles of the gut system in our bodies, and this is actually called, this book is called Gut, and it's written by a German MD called Gillian Anders, and is a very, very good introductory book to the gut system and its beauty and how important it is for our health. Okay, we'll see you soon with more information that can be useful for you.